Hi, this is Ben Shelton, and today I'm going to be showing you how to do Wes Montgomery style block chords. Now this is particularly interesting because you might listen to old Wes Montgomery recordings and wonder how he's able to be so fluid of an improviser when he's playing whole chords. Well, there's a system to it. You put the chords in a scale. So let's start out with the basic G minor 7 chord, and we can make a scale or two different scales out of the inversions of it. So we're going to start here, where we just bar straight across at the 3rd fret and get the top 4 notes. Notice that the 1 is on top, the G. Got this flat 7th on the bottom, then your minor 3rd, then your 5th. So you got all the chords that you need to make a minor 7th, or all the notes you need to make a minor 7th chord. So then we're going to invert it. So we're going to take the minor 3rd and stick it on top. We end up with this voicing here. Take a minute and you can see how that lays on the guitar. Try putting your fingers on the shape. Notice how I have my pinky free. And there's a reason I do that. It's so if I want to do this, for example, and put the different note in there, I can do that. I have freedom. So I'll just play that, and I'm barring 2 notes with my middle finger on the top 2 strings. So then I'm going to do the next inversion of that. So that's now going to put the 5th on top. I'll lean over and you can see that a little better. So it's going to be like that, where you bar across on the 8th fret, and then on the G string you put the finger on the 10th fret, and on the E string you put your finger on the 10th fret. So now we're going to take the same notes and we're going to invert it again, so we end up with the flat 7th on top. So notice that here my middle finger is barring across 2 different strings at the 12th fret. So okay, so now we're going to keep going through the inversion, and just for the heck of it, there's our top chord, or we can stick this 9th on it here. You, on your E string, put the finger down on the 17th fret and get this. So, to recap, you have this chord, So, what can we do with that? They're all the same chord, but they all have different notes on top. So, the first thing we can do is start by sliding each one of the chords up by 2 frets, and then we can make a scale. So we have So we can do a scale. The scale will go up and down, and you might want to practice that as an exercise. So that's one way to do it. And then the next way to do it is to fill in with diminished chords. So the chord that we're going to use is going to be an A diminished chord like this. So what we're going to do is bar across at the 4th fret, and then we're going to stop the strings on the G string at the 5th fret and on the E string at the 5th fret. So we're going to end up with the diminished chord. And the cool thing about the diminished chord is because each note is a minor 3rd apart from the next note, both on top and below it, you can invert that chord by just moving it up 3 frets. So we have So the cool thing about that is that we can combine the two, right? The inversions of the G minor 7 and the inversions of the A diminished 7th chord, right? So we go like this. So then we end up with a scale. And you can do all kinds of cool things with a scale. You can play, say if we do it in A, we can play the Inspector Gadget theme. And you can just, any melody you can think in your head, you can generally harmonize with some sort of chord like that. The other cool thing that you can do with those voicings is if you're playing 2/5s in jazz, you know, this, if you're playing, say, 2/5 from G minor 7 to C7 to F major 7, you're going to go. And you can play a 2/5 like that, just with the patterns. If you listen to Wes Montgomery, he does a lot of that. So think of this lesson not as an end, but as a useful tool to have in your bag and something that you might want to play with. I would suggest that you learn how to do the scale both ways and then practice with it. Try harmonizing melodies you come up with in your head. And when you get pretty good at it, try figuring out a couple Wes Montgomery chord solos. And you'll find that a lot of what he plays follows patterns like this, but a lot of what he plays is also different and spontaneous, and that you can pick up little tricks and harmonic curly cues, so to speak, by figuring out what it is that he's playing and going back in your head and saying, okay, what was he thinking when he played that? And then applying the rules that you figure out there to your own playing to create something new. Anyway, I hope the lesson was helpful for you. This is Ben Shelton, and I hope you had a